Now then, a few years ago, the idea of making a feature film without the support of, I don't know, a production company or a film studio was pretty unthinkable. You just wouldn't attempt it without the resources that they would provide for you. Nowadays, things are rather different. Filming is pretty easy. You can do it on your mobile phone. You can then edit it at home as well on the computer and then stick the final cut on the likes of YouTube. Social networking takes care of your marketing. Done, sorted, really. And that is exactly how local filmmaker Fabrizio Federico created his feature Black Biscuit. That was shot in and around Nottingham, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I had a little bit of a watch of the film yesterday. I didn't have 2 hours. I had to make out like I was working. So I was skipping through it.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Give us an idea of how you've actually made this film.
Well, I spent a year filming on mobile phones and children's cameras, and I'd just walk around Derby and Nottingham, and if I saw someone interesting and had that kind of personality that I was looking for, because I wanted to go for, like, people that have, like, an alternative lifestyle and are, like, rebels of society, and I just go up to them and be like, do you want to be in a film? And everybody wants to be in a film, so it's not really hard, like, convincing people.
Yeah, and when you said, do you want to be in a film, and they said, well, yeah, invariably.
Yeah.
Did you then explain what the film was about?
No, I'd interview them and I'd ask them about their life, and if a story kind of fitted into, like, the whole spirit of the film, I'd incorporate it into it, and if not, I'd film them right there and then, right there on the streets doing what they do. You know,
so it's like a snapshot of British life?
Yeah, of British society, and I think there's some great stuff happening in society these days. I mean, you know, we've had the Olympics, we've had all these people cracking the USA, getting number ones like Adele and all that, so it's kind of like a renaissance of British culture. So I'm kind of like flying the flag for British cinema, British independent cinema, and I don't want to do it the mainstream way. I want to, like, break all the rules and, like, burn all the blueprints of how to make a movie and start it over again, you know.
So how long have you been interested in making films? What's your background?
Mainly music, to tell you the truth. I got into cinema a bit more when I came back to the UK. I'd gotten deported from America, and I'd always loved movies, but I'm like, okay, now it's time to make a movie. It's something that I've always wanted to do, and as simple as that, basically, you know.
So you got your mobile phone, I mean, what is it, smartphone, something like that?
I was worse than that. It was, you know, it was like 3 years ago, so it was like crummy. Yeah, it was like a crummy phone. Nothing really to it. I kind of like movies that have, like, a really raw quality and aren't too, like, pixelated. I think we got a bit out of control with the pixels.
Yeah. See, there were bits, correct me if I'm wrong, there were bits of the film that seemed to be sort of shots of kind of you watching TV. Things like that.
Yeah.
But then it switches to some scenes which are kind of interview, and then you feel like you're a bit of a fly on the wall watching conversations take place.
Yeah, it's
a real mishmash.
It's everything. It's documentary, it's cinema verite, it's comedy. I mean, some of the scenes, we even, like, took the mickey of how, like, people actually make films. So we're like, oh, let's script this, but it was, like, tongue-in-cheek, like satire, you know, so you'd get a bit of a difference of the feeling, you know.
Yeah. So you say it took the best part of a year?
Yeah, a year to film, a year to edit, because I just had, like, about 60 hours of footage that I just kind of...
how do you do that? I mean, how do you get from 60 hours down to, well, it's about 2 hours, isn't it?
That's the worst bit. It's like chopping off your fingers, almost, because there's so many scenes that could fit in the film, but because movies have to be a certain length, you can't put it into it. So it's a bit nerve-wracking. Yeah. But I don't know, I just did, like, loads of experiments when I was editing it. Like, I'd put, like, exorcism sounds in the background, or one day I'd just listen to Britney Spears all day, you know, just to, like, because it kind of affects how you work, you know, so I'd try, like, different experiments like that. You know.
And you're in the film?
Yeah, I became a life model, a nude life model, and that kind of helped fund it. You know, it only cost about £500 to make, and the life modelling pays well, so...
Does it?
Yeah, you know, it pays real well.
I've never thought of doing that.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, no one's ever approached me to do it, but, I mean, you did that, I mean, that's pretty... scary stuff, isn't it?
Well, I kind of just wanted to, like, expand my consciousness. Like, I came up with a manifesto as well called Pink 8, and that kind of, like, lists how I went about making the film. So I think, you know, when you make a movie, you should, like, broaden your horizons at the same time, and I wanted to do that. I kind of wanted to explore nudity in the public these days. I've been to nude beaches and stuff like that, and I don't see a problem with nudity.
Yeah. So you were a life
model.
Life model. And also, there's quite an interesting character in the film whereby you meet a lady who is into M&S. Sorry, S&M.
Yeah, she was an S&M mistress, and we spent the day. She was teaching this young 18-year-old how to be an S&M mistress, and I was like, how about we film it, and I could be like your guinea pig. So I was basically whipped all day.
Well, you literally did get smacked around.
Yeah, I got whipped all day, and she had this like rich German guy there dressed as a woman the whole time, giving us cakes and tea. It's oldest profession in there, isn't it?
It's an insight. Well, who knows what goes on while we're talking here.
Oh yeah.
We don't know what's going on in people's houses. That's the interesting thing.
Yeah, as long as nobody gets hurt, nothing wrong with it, right? I did. You know what? It was kind of tickly, to tell you the truth. Like, it hurt, but I was giggling the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk a wee bit more in just a tick. And suffice to say, I mean, this is. Well, we'll talk you through where you can watch this film. It's fair to say it has got some adult content in there, and some adult
Big
themes.
time.
Yeah. You heard the man himself say. Right, more from Fabrizio in just a moment. It's 11:22. 25 past 11, Sugar Babes, BBC Radio Nottingham. So, Fabrizio is with me. You've been hearing about the film that Fabrizio has made. It's called Black Biscuit. We'll pop a link on our Facebook page in a wee bit, just to remind you, it does contain some adult themes and some adult language and whatever else. That's one way that people can watch it online. You were just saying that because of the nature of YouTube and social media, people all around the world are watching this
Yeah, it's
thing
fantastic.
now.
I mean, it keeps getting taken down off of YouTube because of censorship, and so I keep having to put it back on, and it's one of those.
What is
types
that? Because of the language and things like that?
All sorts of things. I mean, people complain about everything these days, so you kind of have to tweak things or go around things like that. But
so say if someone watches it and then complains, then YouTube have taken it down.
Yeah, they take it down, but I keep putting it up under different names. So
really, you're a rebel, aren't you?
I don't mind.
So what else do you do? Because, I mean, I'm thinking there can't be... It's not making you money.
No, I've made no money off of it, and I don't really want to make money off of it, because I think that'd ruin it. Like, if it became a job for me, I wouldn't be interested in it anymore. I want to be passionate about it. I work with this great body painter called Victoria Howard, and, I do some body painting, I do caricatures.
Right.
It's not hard making money. As long as I'm not starving and I can travel, I'm happy. I don't want to be rich or anything like that.
So it sounds like you've got your fingers in various pies with music and art and everything else. So you are from a kind of creative background.
Oh, yeah, as long as it's artistic, I'm into it, music, writing, anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind this whole Derby thing. What about the Nottingham scene?
Oh, forget all of that. Nottingham's great. Nottingham's. I mean, I've shot most of it in Derby and Nottingham, so a lot of open-minded people around here.
Yeah, definitely.
It doesn't get East Midlands doesn't get a lot of credit in the film industry, and it's a shame because it should. I managed to get into some major film festivals, and I flew the flag for them.
I was about to ask about the fact that people are now noticing this online and whatever, and it's gathering a bit of momentum, and people are saying, what's the reaction to it? I would get the idea that it's one of those you either love it or you hate it.
Oh yeah, completely. Kind of like punk music. It's exactly like that, and that's what I want it to be, hard hitting. I mean, some people have said that I'm enfant terrible, but I'll take it.
I suppose the fact that it's getting a reaction is better than no reaction.
Yeah, and people should go out there and start making films like this. Forget about making short films and applying for funding, because that's just like your parents giving you out pocket change, and they're going to try to control the film as well. That's what they don't seem to understand. They're going to be your producer, and I don't want anyone producing me. I want to be independent and be able to do what I want, and it's so much more simpler than having someone on your back giving you a schedule and all that.
So what comes next then? You've done this one film. Presumably you've done other stuff before this. This wasn't your first.
I just made a feature film right off the bat. Since then I've done some shorts, but I'm like, sod it. I might as well just make a feature film. And I'm working on my second one at the moment called Pregnant, so that'll probably be available in like a year or something like that, I reckon.
Right. Okay.
That's about technology addiction, how Facebook and Twitter have become like a form of addiction for a lot of people. So
there I was thinking it was going to be following the progress of a woman over 9 months with a little human inside her that grows and grows.
Nah,
but it's nothing to do with a pregnancy.
Nah, It covers a bit of about pregnancy. Like, there's a guy in it who loses a baby at 9 months, so it does kind of. But I'm interested in the imagery that goes with the word pregnant. I don't know. Imagination kind of starts to roll a bit.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, you have to let us know when that is finished. You're working on that at the minute, and it'll be best part of a year until it actually.
Yeah, I'm filming at the moment, so got to do the editing, and yeah, I'll definitely let you guys know. Sure.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, listen, thanks for coming in, explaining more. We'll pop a link from our Facebook page, Mark Dennison on BBC Radio Nottingham. Click on like first, and that'll come with all the usual disclaimers.